Hola, ¿qué tal amigos de Rockomotora TVyRadio? Estamos aquí, Sony de Aneurisma.
Cintia Instrucción.
Y estamos aquí acompañados de
Richie Kotzen.
Okay.
Fantastic.
We know it and we're so excited and we want to thank you for this interview because you have a lot of things to do and it's a few times that we have you here in Mexico. How do you feel about yesterday, your first?
I had a good time. I had a lot of fun, and the audience was really cool. And I remember that from last time I played here because when you get on stage, you really want to make that connection with the crowd because it kind of fuels the momentum of the performance. And it felt like we got on stage, we had that connection, and people were responding to what we were playing and singing along, and I was very happy.
Yes, we are happy with staying with you in Mexico for the second time.
Yeah.
We stayed with you the last year. And for the whole public is fantastic to have you with you.
Cool.
Let's talk about Essential.
Okay.
Why two new songs were included when this was Essential?
Sure, I can talk about this. Basically, you guys are probably aware of my history, and I've done a lot of records, and there's a lot of people that now are hearing my name that remember me from when I first started making records. It kind of didn't follow the thread of my career, and so I have people saying, I want to get into your music again, but I realize you've got 20 records, and where do I start? So the record company decided to put together a collection of songs that I picked, and basically it's not really meant to be a greatest hits. It's not meant to be a career-encompassing thing. It's more of something that's meant to tie the thread together as who I am as an artist as it relates to my roots and what I'm doing today. And so if someone were to say, we want to buy a record of yours and get into your music, where do we start? Now there's a starting point. And then from there they can go back and check out whatever else they want.
The kids are grateful about that because there's a lot of songs. Why did you pick those songs or your favorite ones?
Just because those were the ones that I like. I kind of shed a light on Into the Black. There's a lot of stuff on there from that record because that was an important record for me that represented a certain transition. And then I put certain songs on there from the past that I thought were relevant, and I re-recorded them. And then there's two new songs that would have ended up on a solo record, but I didn't have any plans for a record at the time, and this opportunity came up, and those songs were available, so I put War Paint and Walk on there.
Perfect. We love the video.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, I do because I love everything like do it yourself. It's like I think that's the message you always try to send us. That with a little bit you can do.
Yes. What would you influence your daughter?
You're talking about the video for Walk With Me?
Yeah.
Oh, the one we did with the iPhone.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because the War Paint video I didn't do myself. My director friend that did a great job with that. But we were bored one night and we were at my house. I'm like, I got an idea, So we started filming stuff, and I don't know, just thought, let me see if I can film this and just use my iPhone and make it watchable. I'm not a video guy, so just did it for fun,
This is like a good message for the bands, right? New bands.
I guess it's possible.
They think they need a record company. They need the producer for the video, right? I mean, check out the video, please, people.
It's totally possible that if you don't have a budget, it's totally possible to still find a way to get your little artistic vision across.
Listen to Rich. Okay, let's change to the Wine Dogs because we're excited about the band, about the guys you're hanging out with.
What is your experience to play with Mr. Baker? You played with Billy, and now when the winner he also played with Billy and Mike Dominic. What is the experience to play with these kind of musicians?
It's interesting because there are, I've been lucky that I've played with many amazing musicians throughout my life, even from the point when I was a teenager. Steve Smith was playing drums on my first record and Stu Ham playing bass. And so I've been very fortunate to work with a lot of radically different kinds of musicians over the years. And Billy, is really an innovator in what he does, because it's almost like he's not really playing bass guitar. When you think about what a bass guitar does in music and the role that it plays, Billy kind of has changed that. And so it's like Billy Sheehan does Billy Sheehan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's
my master.
And he's a legend, and it's an interesting thing. It's like kind of like being in a band with another guitar player.
Yeah.
And so for me, it changes my dynamic musically, and it creates an interesting sound for the band. And Mike is similar in a way. Is very much a stylist and a huge personality. So when you come to see the Winery Dogs, there's a lot to look at. There's a lot going on, and I see it in the audience. Like I'm singing, I'm watching people, and like
they
their heads
don't have
are
time.
like they look to me, and they look there, and they look here, and then they look back and look to me, and it's kind of like people leave the concert like with probably whiplash, just from knowing. And then finally it kind of mellows out, and it gets to a point where it's like people are kind of like closing their eyes a little more and grooving out. So it's a very exciting show to see. But we're taking a break now. I personally really want to make sure that when the Winery Dogs release another record, that we have a great record. I love that first record we made, and there was a lot of time put into making that record. It really was. When you think about our first conversation, our first writing session, until there really was a lot of time and energy put into that. And I want to make sure that when we start the next album cycle, that we treat it the same way, because I think the band is special and it needs to be treated as something special.
It was hard for you, the dynamics between your solo career and then go in band again. You are a band.
Yeah,
and it's different.
It's an interesting thing. I've been a solo artist my whole life, and that's always been my priority, because that's who I am and it's what I do. If that was false, I wouldn't have 20 records out, and I wouldn't be touring the world for however long I've been doing it. So that's kind of who I am. I'm not really a project guy. I don't have 3 or 4 other bands because I don't really need to be in a band. So as far as outside what I do as a solo artist, the Winery Dogs is my band, and that's
really
two things. And so right now, when the Winery Dogs formed, I was ready to take a departure, to take a vacation from being Richie Kotzen. I even said that to my friends. So it would be cool to do something else, like a project that took me away from myself. And so I spent a year, making the record, a year on the road. And now I'm ready to take a break from that and go back and be Richie Kotzen, and I'm enjoying that. So to me, it all comes down to the balance. Too much of any one thing is going to make you have. And I don't ever want to be in a position where I'm mad at music. So for me personally, in order for me to function, even as a human being, I need balance. I need to be able to work, make a great record tour, and then go sit on the beach for a month or two and clear my brain.
In the next year, when you stay in vacation, you write songs?
Now, writing comes, in the weirdest moments. Literally, we could finish this interview, and I might go back to my room and take a nap and suddenly wake up with an idea for a song. So it's for me to function that way, it's never forced. Song ideas come. I've been in restaurants and had an idea and ran outside. I've been at sound check with my band and played a riff and said, I'm going to write something to that. So I've been sleeping and came up out of a dream and had a song idea, So there's no rules to it. The only thing that I know for me personally is the balance. Not overcharging myself in one thing. Not staying on the road too long, not staying in the studio too long. If I don't have any ideas for songs, then fuck it. I'll wait until I feel the inspiration, and then at least it'll be honest. I've written so many songs. It's like I could never write another song again, and if I didn't, it would be okay. Well, then that's what's meant to be.
Man, how do you handle to remember all those
That's
songs?
the biggest problem.
I mean,
that is the biggest problem.
I'm listening like all my shuffle from Richie Kotzen, and I've never heard this song.
What happens
Or I
is people
have.
come up to me, actually, like after the show, on the way to the bus or whatever, I'm talking to people, like they bring, why don't you play blah blah blah, and they'll name a song. I forgot I wrote that song. I forgot I wrote that song. Exactly. Yeah.
When you're not Richie Kotzen, when you're in your house, in
Yes.
your bed, what do you listen? What's your favorite bands? What do you chill out with?
You know, it's funny. One of my friends years ago got in the car with me. He's like, "Dan," he said, "you're the only motherfucker I know that listens to AM radio." He said, "What's wrong with you?" Like, literally, I get in the car and I listen to like news channels, sports channels. Like, I don't really listen to a lot of music. Only because I think when I'm home, I'm trying to take a break from it. If I have a card game, my friends come over and we play music in the background. We listen to a lot of stuff like the Eagles or early Darryl Hall, Hall and Oates, and classic rock, classic R&B, the Spinners. Like all my friends, we all kind of have the same kind of taste in that thing, and rock music too. But I find myself, you know what I listen to when I'm home, if I'm not listening to the news, is the ID channel. And that's a channel, it's like they solve mysteries. Like people show up dead somewhere and like there's a body, and then the detectives figure out what happened. Like that channel is constantly, running in my house, when I'm cleaning or doing whatever I'm doing in the house. And then I get really pissed off sometimes because when they start doing reruns, I'm like, it's a horrible thing to say, but I'm like, gotta find some more dead bodies so we can get some new shows, new material.
We don't wanna blow the magic, Richie Kotzen, but tell us about your gear, about your secrets. A little secret for our guitar friends. A pedal, a guitar, something.
Yes, I can do that.
Something essential.
Well, the biggest thing, most important component is my guitar. And that is my Fender Telecaster. It's a signature model guitar. So what that means is I had a hand in designing it, and you can actually buy it at the store, or if you order it online. Anybody that likes that guitar, the sound of it, the look of it, whatever, it's the same guitar that I play. The only thing I do when I get it is I take the finish off of the neck, and I put this little thing on called an N-tune, guitar tune. I add that, and that's it. As far as pedals, right now I'm using a standard Crybaby wah, but I have this new pedal that we did with Tech 21, and it's called the Fly Rig. And basically, the overdrive is something that I designed, or we designed together with Tech 21, and we spent like 6 months figuring out the overdrive. It's a two-stage overdrive. In the pedal, it has a reverb and it has a delay with a tap tempo and an on-off. And the whole idea was to make something really simple and really small. And the idea originated because I took all my pedals that I liked and soldered them together in one little box. And it was pretty crude looking, but it worked. So when I came in and did a gig, there was just one thing to put on the floor that was small that I could throw in my backpack.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make something like that commercially. So that's what this is. It's called the Fly Rig, the RK5, and you can buy that starting in January. And then the amplifiers, I kind of go through this revolving door with amps, and it's really just between Fender and Marshall. On the last Winery Dog tour, and this recent Euro tour with my solo band, I was using Marshall Plexis. Here in Mexico, I'm using Fenders. I'm using the Vibro Lux, which responds very much like a Plexi, and that's really it. The amp is just makes it easier for me to communicate my ideas, so I tend to like the Marshall Plexis or the more, the Fender, the classic Fender, kind of like the Tweed Deluxe is one of my favorite amps. I built one of those actually, it's really cool. The sound records amazing. So if you're Marshall and Fender, I can get my amp thing.
And the rest, guys, is
It's a secret.
It's a secret. We're about to finish this interview.
Okay.
Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're so glad to meet you. I don't know
What
when
is the next year for the
advice-
Mexico? When you come, the next year?
You know, I would imagine the next time I came to Mexico would probably be with the Winery Dogs, because hopefully, you know, we'll have a new record finished, you know, within the foreseeable future. And I would imagine the next time I come to play here will be with them, so it should be fun.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Richie Kotzen, Mexico.
Great.
Rockomotora, hell yeah.
Thank you.